This morning, we're following 4 wildfires burning across the Front Range. You can see them all here. The Alexander Mountain Fire in Larimer County, the Lakeshore Fire in Boulder County, the Quarry Fire in Jefferson County, and the Stone Canyon Fire near Lyons.
Yeah, here's a better idea of where they are in relation to each other. Altogether, these 4 fires have burned more than 9,500 acres, or nearly 15 square miles. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jordan Chavez.
And I'm Corey Rose. Our team coverage continues this morning from all across the Front Range. Meteorologist Chris Bianchi is tracking the latest forecast and conditions. Brianna Fernandez is in Boulder County at the Lakeshore Fire.
Our Anusha Roy is in Lyons covering the Stone Canyon Fire. We begin, though, with Courtney Yoon in Jefferson County covering the Quarry Fire. Courtney, lots of people still under evacuation and pre-evacuation warnings this morning.
Yeah, that's right. Hundreds of homes are on evacuation orders already, and I want to show you what it looks like here on South Valley Road. This is the smoke from the Quarry Fire. You can see it off in the distance and how it's blanketing that valley. You can also see Lockheed Martin over there on the right, but it is very smoky, very hazy here today as the sun is coming up. We're standing on South Valley Road and Valley Parkway, where the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office has the road blocked. The Quarry Fire was first reported as a small spot fire in Jefferson County around 9 p.m. Tuesday and quickly spread. I want to show you an aerial view, an infrared image from a multi-mission aircraft that Jefferson County posted yesterday. Currently, the fire is at 341 acres, and there's still no containment on this fire. Nearly 600 homes have been evacuated so far. These are the subdivisions that are under mandatory evacuation orders: Deer Creek Mesa, Sampson, Maxwell, McKinney, and Murphy. There are also 4 that are on pre-evacuation orders, which are Ullman Park, Homestead South, Silver Ranch, and Silver Ranch South. Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says every neighborhood is at risk, and there's no one neighborhood that's in more immediate danger than the other. So if you see flames or you smell heavy smoke, you need to get out of there. There has also been a lot of resources that are coming here to this fire, the Quarry Fire. They were worried, since they're kind of stretched thin with resources with 4 fires burning on the Front Range. They were lucky, they said, to get those 4 helicopters carrying water from Chatfield Reservoir onto this fire here. So far, they don't have a cause, and they're going to start investigating that once firefighters can get their arms around this fire. First, they're focusing on saving homes, then they will get to that investigation. But so far, there has been no structure damage or any injuries in this fire. And now I want to get over to my colleague, Anusha Roy, who's keeping an eye on the Stone Canyon fire over in Lyons. Good morning, Anusha.
Hey, good morning, Courtney. Yeah, I just had a chance to talk to some of the firefighters who were coming back from working on the Stone Canyon fire all night long, and they said it was actually pretty uneventful, which is great news. To give you a sense of just how scary things got here, though, that is the ridgeline there on the north side of Lyons. That is as close as the fire got to the town of Lyons. Also, tremendous work by the firefighters for keeping that firefighter from getting closer to town. They've been working on the other side of that ridgeline all throughout the night. And this fire started on Tuesday. So I want to show you some of the video of what families have been dealing with, what firefighters have been dealing with now for several days at this point. At last check, this was a fire that was 20% contained. It had burned more than 1,500 square feet. Even with that night side crew, the overnight shift coming back, we don't have the updated numbers quite yet of what it looks like this morning. Not quite yet. Hope to get that update for you as soon as possible. Unfortunately, we know that this fire has burned at least 5 structures. 1 person is dead. 4 firefighters were hurt in the process of trying to contain this fire. Now, we know that the evacuation orders for the areas north of Lyons, again, where this fire is burning right now, is still in effect. But because of that fire behavior, the evacuation orders closer to Lyons, closer to the town itself, have now been lifted, which is great news. The fire itself is not moving particularly fast. It's not growing particularly fast, and it is going towards the northeast, which is more into agricultural areas right now. So back here live, I wanted to give a sense of just how many people from all over Colorado were actually responding. We are looking at fire crews who are coming from Sedalia, from Franktown, from Lyons, of course, all over the metro area, and then down south, coming up north to help out the firefighters as well, because this is going to be a huge effort. And this fire in particular is right in between the Alexander fire and the Lakeshore fire. In the middle of all of this, they actually had to divert crews to the Lakeshore fire because they needed some more hands on that. That is where we find my colleague Brianna Fernandez live this morning. And Brianna, what are things looking like where you're at?
You know, this is as close as we can get to the fire because the fire is obviously very deep into Boulder at the moment. So I'm kind of far away from the fire. What I can tell you and what it is confirmed by the Boulder County Sheriff's Office is that this fire has burned 6 acres, 0% contained. We know it started yesterday afternoon around 2:30 just on the east side of Gross Reservoir. So take a look at your screen. Here are some videos of what that fire looked like when Sky 9 flew over that area. So even though the Lakeshore fire is much smaller than the ones burning in our state, the ones that Anusha and Courtney were following this morning, it has impacted 2 structures, the Lakeshore fire. One of them was a home. Now, the Boulder County Sheriff's Office couldn't confirm the extent of the damage, but Sky 9 captured visible flames just coming out, pouring out of that area, destruction to at least 1 home. Fire crews were able to react quickly, splitting resources, like Anusha mentioned, that were working the Stone Canyon fire nearby. Now, as to what caused that fire, the Sheriff's Office says they believe it was caused by humans, but appears to be accidental. Now, officials are talking to 2 people they believe may be involved. Now, back out here live, no arrests have been made according to the Boulder County Sheriff's Office. Hopefully we can get more information. Right now we know it's burned 6 acres, 0% contained at the moment. There is some small evacuations in some areas. We've actually posted a full list on our 9news.com website. Also some road closures that you should know about. For now, I'm live here in Boulder. Brianna Fernandez for 9 News. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Brianna, we appreciate the update. Thank you. We're also tracking the Alexander Mountain fire this morning. This is the fire burning west of Loveland. This is the largest of the 4 fires right now. At last check, it has grown to more than 7,600 acres and is 1% contained.
This fire has also forced the most people from their homes. This is the most recent evacuation map. The red is mandatory evacuations, yellow is voluntary, and the evacuation zones for the Alexander Mountain fire pretty much overlap with the Stone Canyon fire because they're so close together. We're going to be following all of these fires for you live on air at 9 News Plus. You can stay up to date and get alerts on the 9 News app.
Yeah, and right now we want to send things over to meteorologist Chris Bianchi for a check of the forecast. We're going to see a lot of what we saw yesterday. Hot, dry. I think a lot of people hoping maybe at some point there's going to be some moisture in this forecast, Chris.
Yeah, Corey and Jordan, my cautious optimism is we may be past the very worst, the kind of very tippy top of the worst of this hot and dry stretch here. And I'll explain why in just a second. First of all, I do want to also show you a reason for optimism. And I know you look at this and you go, Chris, what are you talking about? What's the reason for optimism? I'm just looking at a whole smoky scene behind you. This is looking from the Four Seasons Hotel in downtown Denver, south and west at the Quarry fire. And as you look south and west, you see a blanket of smoke. In a sense, that is good news because it means the fire is essentially laying down as opposed to the more vertical look to a fire. That's when you're seeing that fire rapidly spreading. And we actually saw that yesterday morning, which was really ominous when we were showing you flames. We showed you shooting flames from this vantage point at 4:40 in the morning yesterday morning. This morning, we're just seeing that kind of blanket of smoke, which means the fire is most likely laying down. That said, we have a weather impact day for it today because of the wildfire smoke and because of the ground ozone. That combination leading to an air quality alert until 4 p.m. today. It's going to be pretty rough out there in terms of that air quality. Try and limit that time outdoors. If you have to be outside for a prolonged period, use an N95 mask. That'll filter out some of that smoke. This is another reason for optimism. Relative humidity up a little bit. It's notably up from this time yesterday when we were stuck in the 20s. So a couple reasons for optimism. Winds light as could be right now. That is also good. This is not so good. Temperatures topping out about 98 for us here in Denver. Bad air quality, isolated storm south of Denver. Most of us stay dry, including us here in Denver. But tomorrow, better chance for storms, some of which could be good storms, some of which could be bad storms. I'll explain that good news versus bad news sort of dichotomy with that storm threat for tomorrow, and also a more meaningful and long-lived chance for showers and storms for next week. I'll get into details on that coming up in my full forecast in a couple of minutes. Erica?
Chris, thank you. Right now, we want to get you out the door. This is a live look at 6th Avenue this morning in the area of the I-25 southbound ramp. I was trying to look for a new crash that was just reported this morning on eastbound 6th Avenue in the area of Knox Court. So I want to go ahead and take you over to our maps and talk about what we're dealing with there. So not able to see it in the cameras available to us from CDOT, but we can certainly see delays this morning. Again, that crash right around eastbound 6th Avenue in Knox Court. So if you're going to be leaving Lakewood headed toward I-25, that's going to be some delays you want to watch out for. And then one of the wildfire closures we're dealing with, Highway 34 through Big Thompson Canyon between Loveland and Estes Park, that we have been dealing with since yesterday. Westbound I-70 travel 22 minutes between E470 and 76. Normal is about 13 to 15 minutes. And we're dealing with about a 6-minute slowdown right now on southbound 225 for your drive between I-70 and I-25.
All right, Erica, thank you. Right now, the state is asking local fire departments to bring back the 600 or so firefighters helping other states with their fires.
They're also activating the National Guard to help fight the fires burning along the Front Range. The Guard won't be fighting fires. They're going to be helping with things like logistics and road closures to give deputies a break and free up other resources.
Could we use more resources? Of course. But what the current analysis is always to do is to use the resources we have to the greatest positive impact to protect homes and lives.
FEMA has told Colorado it will cover 75% of the cost to fight the Alexander Mountain Fire in Larimer County and the Stone Canyon Fire in Boulder County. We don't know yet if that offer will extend to the Quarry Fire in Jeffco or the Lakeshore Fire in Boulder County.